All right, guys, what's going on? Derek, GovKidMethod.com. Today we are talking all about capability statements, and it's been about a year since I did my last video on average versus amazing capability statements. Today I thought I would come and take things full circle and actually show you 3 ways you should actually be using your company's capability statement to help grow and market your government contracting business to U.S. federal agencies. So whether you're new and you just got a capability statement and you're not sure what to do with it, or if you've had one for a while, maybe it's saved on your hard drive and you're like, man, I'm not even using this thing. Or at the end of this video, if you don't even know where to find a capability statement, we do have some on my website, GovKidMethod.com. Today, either way, you're going to be walking away with some sort of takeaway of how to actually utilize this thing to best market and grow your GovCon business. All right, so let's just get into it. The very first thing that you should be using your capability statement for is responding to sources sought notices. So if you understand the 4 stages of a bid that I covered in several other videos, you'll know that stage 1 is sources sought. This is where contracting officers are basically doing their market research to see who's going to be interested. Well, what this means to you as a contractor and a vendor is if you're going to sam.gov and you're sorting through contract opportunities by sources sought notices, this is giving you a list of opportunities in the search results of opportunities that are in this early stage. And if you open one of those up and you scroll down, you're going to find more times than not that the response is going to include either in full or at least partially a tailored or customized capability statement be submitted to the contracting officer. The reason for this is, again, they're doing market research up front. They want to get a, basically an elevator pitch, and that's what your capability statement should be. They want to make sure that you're even registered. Just some of these things we would already assume. They get companies coming to them that aren't even registered in sam.gov, guys. That's the number one question. So seeing that you have a cage code and a DUNS number, and then maybe seeing, your services or goods that you can provide broken out alongside with your NAICS codes or product and service codes. A capability statement is also a great thing to demonstrate your past experience, past performance, and you also absolutely must list your point of contact information and your website on that statement so they can contact you if they are interested. So when reading through the requirements of a sources sought notice posted on sam.gov, this is why contracting so often asks for a customized or tailored capability statement so they can get all of this upfront information out the door, because they're not looking for proposal responses, they're not looking for pricing, resumes, big long lengthy responses. They're usually going to ask for a tailored capability statement and then also maybe a short white paper or just answering a few questions to give them further feedback on this particular opportunity, because you are supposed to be the expert. You're supposed to be the SME on this particular industry, on this particular job. So they value your feedback, so they may ask you to also answer some questions. Now, you may have heard me say in another video, nobody wins a contract from responding to a sources sought notice. So why do we do it? We do it to market and create a reputation for our business. It also puts us in a position so that when the bid comes out in the future date, then contracting has already seen us. They've already seen our interest in this opportunity. So when they actually receive your bid coming into their email inbox, they're like, oh, I know who this company is. I know who this person is. I talked to them a little bit. I had some correspondence with them during the sources sought stage 1. They sent me their capability statement, and maybe they answered a few questions for me, so they were integral as part of this acquisition process to formulate our contracting strategy and ultimately put this thing out to bid the best way that we could for small businesses. I know there's a lot to unpack there, but let me just say this. There are 4 primary things that I teach in the program GovCon Gold Rush. 4 of all the things that you could focus on. One of those is responding to sources sought notices, okay? It's something I highly recommend you do, and utilizing your capability statement properly in this process is going to allow you to effectively do that. Okay, so method or tip number 2, the second way you should be utilizing your capability statement is through either government contracting conferences or certain meetings where you get to interface with government personnel. Now, you may have heard me talk in the past that I'm actually not a huge proponent of going to government contracting conferences. They can be all over the country. Many of them are on the East Coast, especially, in the Washington, D.C. area. They can cost a lot of money. They can definitely be quite expensive between the hotel and the lodging, maybe even buying tickets to the conference. These things definitely add up, and I don't recommend them at all for new small business owners, especially ones that haven't even won a contract yet. So Derek, why are you talking about conferences or events that are interfacing with the government. I'm referring to identifying the top 3 to 5 agencies that you want to do business with, and then finding those smaller, more local events, maybe not going to the headquarters conference, but maybe going to your local office meeting where maybe there's only 20 or 30 people versus, 2 or 3,000. Those smaller meetings that maybe are more local are going to be a lot more intimate. You're going to be able to get a lot more accomplished. And again, coming with a well-defined capability statement that is crafted to demonstrate, whatever it is that your company has to actually offer and show to the government is going to be basically crucial to your success at these one-on-one meetings whenever you get that opportunity. And again, if you are going out to these larger conferences, you probably already know this, but absolutely you should be taking your capability statement with you to those, printing off a whole bunch of copies, whatever you've got to do, go to Kinko's. But I recommend for very small businesses or businesses that are trying to win their first couple contracts, don't spend a lot of money, don't spend a lot of travel, don't spend a lot of time. But if you do have a few agencies that you're targeting, you definitely want to be watching their website to attend any local events that you can go to further build that rapport in person. And having your capability statement with you ready to go in a professional way is really going to be the number one thing that sets you apart. And if you don't have it, that's also going to set you apart. It's going to make you look very green and very inexperienced. And you don't want that as a first reputation in front of the government. Okay, guys, so here's number 3. I've really saved the best for last. This is my personal favorite way or method. Number 3 that you should be using your capability statement is to basically get a foot in the door with agencies and with individual contracting officers to conduct a capability briefing. So if you didn't know, you can approach a contracting officer, a contracting specialist, or even small business liaisons at the small business office or the OSDBUs within your target agencies. Every agency has some sort of small business interfacing office part of it. They have different names, but any of these, different points of contact from the government side, you can approach them, and it can be essentially the tip of your spear. The thing that cracks in and gets you in to the front door of that place is what's called doing a capability briefing. Most people know what this is on the government side. You're speaking their language. It's something that you can do over the phone. It's something that you can send an email request, and it's something that can also be conducted in person or even through technology using Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever it is that you're able to use. A capability briefing is that introduction with contracting or with the agency. During a capability briefing, they're going to essentially, go through your capability statement, okay? They're going to take it, kind of line by line. They're going to look at your NAICS codes. They're going to look at any of your experience. They're going to look at your set-asides. They're going to look at maybe any of your advantages that your company actually brings, ways that you do things different than other contractors. So this is your time to shine. This is your time to basically sell to the government what you can do for them. But it's also time for you to actually ask them questions. And I actually recommend that you come prepared with intelligent questions. And in addition to that, you want to find out and make sure that they are buying what your company has to offer. This should be a discovery type of conversation. But in addition to that, I want you to actually print off maybe some sources sought notices and say, since I've got you here, this is something that my company can do. I'm watching, stuff that's coming out of your agency on sam.gov. I'm watching it. I plan on responding to it, or I've already responded to it, right? I'm very interested. And just try to get them talking, okay? This is you switching into a bit of a sales gear, but this really sets you apart from other vendors coming prepared, doing your homework like this. And I've actually had it where the person I'm speaking with introduced me to the actual contracting officer that was associated with that particular source's sought notice. And I actually got to speak with him or her. Sometimes I even got to have a bit of a presentation with the whole contracting office. You just never know what could happen. You just really never know what could happen. So you always want to put yourself in the best situation as possible. So guys, capability briefings, let's circle it back. Email a contracting officer, call a contracting officer, email a small business office, an OSDBU, email a small business OSDBU. Request a capability briefing with your company, letting them know that you are new to their agency, not necessarily that you're a new contractor, but you want the opportunity to learn more about the agency, and you also want to share your capability statement. This is the most acceptable first impression to make when reaching out, and it's just a universal language and really gets that first event locked in the door. So you just want to make sure if you get this locked in that you are prepared. Like I said, do your homework, come with intelligent questions. Definitely make sure you're already registered in sam.gov, and also make sure you've got your dynamic small business profile set up as well in sam.gov, and then you will be able to make a strong first impression, and then you can basically keep the momentum going by following up with this individual time after time with different reasons. Again, a lot of things that I teach in GovCon Gold Rush, but different strategies, different reasons to follow up with them to keep the momentum, again, going in your favor until the busy season hits. And then you can start responding to a lot more of the bids that they have on the street. And now they already know who you are. And you can basically imagine how the strategy all starts to come full circle now. All right, guys, if you go to my website, GovKidMethod.com, you can see what these capability statements look like that I'm referring to if you don't know. You can scroll down and select capability statements or select capability statements from the menu. Once you go there, you're going to be shown these really great looking templates, expertly crafted GovCon capability statements. Yes, I built these. You get to see an example of what a front and back would look like and could look like for your business. We hammer in on a few points on these statements: your edge, your company's ability, and your company's reputation. And probably most importantly, you get to see a layout of the different styles and the different industries. Maybe you can find one that's a fit for your business that you can actually click on further and learn more. So for example, if we're looking at IT, we can go ahead and click on this. You get to see the page updates for an IT cape statement. You get to see the IT front and back. Again, this is all customizable. Coming down, we have frequently asked questions. So you get to see, is this usable for PC and Mac? What software is the template created in? Are there refunds? How do I access the template once purchasing? So a lot of things to make this a very easy, seamless transition for you. But primarily, I just wanted to talk about for a second Capability Statement Design Studio. So this is something that is created extra that essentially is 13 videos that shows you how to customize and tailor every single section of this capability statement. It breaks down what it means and what you should essentially be putting for your business as you're going through this statement, whether it's IT or professional services, staffing, or construction, or trucking and logistics, or janitorial. We've got a lot of capability statements to choose from. Basically, Capability Statement Design Studio takes you through each of those sections to make sure they are tailored properly. And what I've done recently is you can actually get them, and then here's all the bullet points. Here's all the things that you get out of it. It's actually included. So Capability Statement Design Studio, you can see down here is originally $127, but it's totally free as part of the statement downloads. Again, guys, I'm just trying to put something in your hands that actually looks nice and is actually done properly, so that when you get in front of the government, you have an actual proper and accurate first impression, as long as, again, you are customizing and tailoring this properly, which is what Capability Statement Design Studio that you'll be getting does, with you, and shows you how to do also. So guys, I'm just letting you know, if you're in a pinch, if this video is, resonating with you, if you're wanting to get started with capability statements, a lot of other places are charging, $500 plus to get one of these. These are $97, including Capability Statement Design Studio also. So, I think the value stack there is pretty high. So guys, I don't pitch a whole lot when it comes to the things that I have to offer, but I just wanted to let you know that this is available if this is something that you're needing help with. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so what were the three? Number one, responding to source of sought notices. Number two, conferences and events, but we're talking local, we're talking free. We're not talking a big, time or monetary investment, not going to the large ones. So local conferences and events. And then number three, capability briefings, using your capability statement to get that foot in the door of the agency, whether it's by way of reaching out to contracting on a particular solicitation or source of sought, or approaching the small business office. Either way it works. I recommend that you do both. So I want to keep today's video short and sweet. Let me know in the comments what you got out of this video. If you liked the video, click that like button. And if you're watching and you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing. We would love to have you here as part of the community. We've been doing a lot of different types of training here in the fourth quarter. So if you want additional training, consider checking out this video or this video. And keep grinding, guys. I will see you in the next video. Take care.